Confidence is not a gift, it's a formula. And for far too long, you've been chasing it the wrong way, looking for motivation, waiting for permission, hoping for validation. Today, that ends. This audiobook will strip away every excuse, every doubt, and every invisible chain holding you back. Step by step, action by action, you will learn how to build unshakable self-belief, take control of your mind, and create momentum that can never be stolen. The question is simple. Are you ready to finally stop feeling small and start acting like the person you were meant to be? Chapter 1. Stop proving and start doing. Confidence is not granted. Confidence is earned. Not through applause, not through permission, not through recognition. It is earned through action. Deliberate, disciplined action. This is the principle you must internalize before you can progress. Most people do not understand this. They spend their energy proving themselves. To friends, to colleagues, to strangers, to the world. They post, they speak, they compare, they argue, they explain, and yet their results do not increase. Their confidence does not increase. Their competence does not increase. They confuse motion for progress. That is the mistake. Stop proving. Start doing. Stop proving. Start doing. You have a choice. You can continue performing, or you can begin building. It is not complicated. It is not about talent. It is not about approval. It is not about being liked. It is about discipline. It is about mastery. It is about taking the step no one notices. No one applauds. And yet that step compounds. That step builds. That step creates evidence of capability where none existed before. The system is simple. Take action. Ignore the audience. Ignore the judgment. Ignore the approval. Take action consistently. Repeat. Improve. Repeat. Measure yourself only against yourself. Consider the entrepreneur who created products without asking for approval. Not because they were arrogant. Not because they were reckless. They were disciplined. They knew validation is irrelevant. They knew that the market will respond to results, not to promises. They built. They shipped. They iterated. They failed. They learned. They improved. And over time, their confidence grew silently, without notice, without praise, without applause. That is how unshakable self-belief forms. Quietly, consistently, reliably. You must understand, proving yourself is voluntary. It is optional. It is a choice, and it is a waste of energy. Energy you could direct toward action. Energy you could direct toward mastery. Energy you could direct toward results. Stop proving. Start doing. Stop proving. Start doing. This principle applies to every domain of your life. To work, to relationships, to skills, to personal growth. In every situation, you're confronted with the same fork. One path leads to external validation. The other path leads to internal competence. One path leads to motion without progress. The other path leads to results. You have a choice. That is the key. Let us translate this principle into behavior. If you want to stop proving and start doing, implement this system. Audit your actions. For 1 week, record every activity you perform. Note if it was performed to impress, explain, justify, or prove. Highlight every action performed for an audience rather than for results. You will see patterns. You will see wasted energy. Eliminate low-value proving. Each day, remove at least one action performed to gain approval. Do not argue. Do not explain. Do not justify. Stop performing for others. Stop performing for recognition. Stop performing for applause. Commit to silent execution. Identify one action each day that moves the needle. One action that creates measurable progress toward your goal. Execute it without telling anyone. Execute it without seeking praise. Execute it as if no one will notice. Repeat. This is your core practice. Reflect only on results. At the end of each week, review your progress. Focus on measurable outcomes. Ignore opinions. Ignore criticism. Measure yourself against output, not approval. That is the difference between proving and doing. Notice how each step compounds. Each small action taken without seeking approval strengthens the neural pathway for confidence. Each task completed independently reinforces self-trust. Each result achieved without external validation creates internal proof. This is the architecture of unshakable belief. Now consider the internal dialogue you must enforce. Whenever you feel the urge to justify, explain, or showcase, say to yourself, stop proving, start doing, repeat it, internalize it. Let it interrupt reflexive behaviors. Let it redirect your energy to creation rather than performance. You don't need their permission. You don't need their approval. You don't need their recognition. You only need discipline. You only need action. There is another element to this system, the feedback loop of iteration. Doing is not enough if it is careless. You must take action, measure results, adjust, and repeat. The entrepreneur who built products without approval did not ignore feedback. They sought feedback from outcomes, not from opinions. They observed what worked. They adjusted. They improved. They repeated. The formula is simple. Action, outcome, adjustment, repeat. Internalize this. This is your operational model. Here is the difference between those who perform and those who produce. Performers seek applause. Producers seek results. Performers ask for permission. Producers enforce rules on themselves. Performers fear judgment. Producers act regardless. Stop proving. Start doing. Stop proving. Start doing. This is not philosophy. This is practice. This is not theory. This is execution. Discipline is required. You will feel discomfort. You will feel the urge to show off. You will feel the urge to explain yourself. That is normal. That is expected. That is exactly where growth begins. Each time you redirect that impulse into silent execution, your self-belief increases. Each time you ignore external validation, your confidence compounds. Each time you measure yourself by results, you reinforce mastery. This is the conditioning process. It is deliberate. It is systematic. It is repeatable. Let us formalize the rules of application. Rule 1. Any action performed to prove yourself is wasted. Identify it. Remove it. Replace it with an action performed for results. Rule 2. All feedback comes from outcomes, not opinions. Track metrics. Track progress. Track performance. Do not track approval. Rule 3. Daily execution without announcement is mandatory. Commit to at least one measurable, silent action every day. This is the foundation. Internalize these rules. Follow them without deviation. Discipline compounds. Repetition reinforces. Momentum grows. Confidence accumulates silently. You will notice it. Others may not. That is irrelevant. You have a choice. That is the key. Stop proving. Start doing. Stop proving. Start doing. Now, understand one final principle. External recognition is a lagging indicator. It follows mastery. It never precedes it. If you wait for approval, you will wait indefinitely. If you wait for applause, you will be delayed in your growth. If you wait for others, you will remain small. Act independently. Act intentionally. Act with discipline. That is the path to unshakable self-belief. This chapter is not about entertainment. It is about conditioning. You will read it once. You will act daily. You will repeat. You will internalize. By the end of this chapter, you should have already begun one action that is not performed to impress anyone. One action that advances your competence silently. One action that reinforces trust in yourself. That is your homework. That is your discipline. That is your system. Stop proving. Start doing. Stop proving. Start doing. Let it guide every decision you make. Let it structure every task you perform. Let it become the default mode of operation. This is the foundation. All other confidence rests upon it. Without action, there is no belief. Without discipline, there is no proof. Without repetition, there is no mastery. As we move to the next chapter, you will examine the silent cost of seeking validation. You will see why the world is full of competent people crippled by approval seeking. You will understand why internal proof is stronger than external applause. The principle of action without recognition is the preparation for that lesson. Stop proving. Start doing. Stop proving. Start doing. Chapter 2: The Silent Cost of Seeking Validation. Seeking validation is voluntary. It is a choice, and it is costly. It costs time. It costs energy. It costs belief in yourself. Each second spent measuring approval is a second not spent building competence. Each thought spent wondering what others think is a thought not spent on action. Each moment chasing recognition is a moment stolen from growth. Validation is a thief. That is the principle. That is the rule. You have a choice. Most people do not recognize the cost. They pursue likes, comments, nods of agreement. They crave acknowledgement. They structure their decisions around approval. Social media is the clearest example. Every post is a test. Every comment is a measure. Every like is an artificial reward. And yet, internally, nothing strengthens. The dopamine is temporary. The confidence is temporary. The belief in self is absent. They feel strong when praised. They feel weak when ignored. That is the trap. Stop. Listen. Observe. Real strength is silent. Real confidence does not seek applause. Real competence does not ask for permission. When you base your self-worth on external validation, you surrender control of your mind. Your energy depends on strangers. Your mood depends on feedback. Your focus depends on judgment. That is unacceptable. That is unnecessary. That is avoidable. You don't need their permission. You don't need their approval. You only need yourself. You have a choice. That is the key. Let us define a system to break the habit of seeking validation. Audit your motivation. For every action you take today, ask, am I doing this for results or for approval? Record your answer. Be honest. Discipline requires honesty. If you find that approval drives your action, correct it immediately. Redirect toward results. Implement the silent rule. Choose one action per day to execute in complete silence. No announcement. No justification. No sharing. Observe the outcome privately. This trains your internal reward system. This trains your trust in yourself. External applause is unnecessary. Internal proof is sufficient. Measure only what matters. Stop tracking likes, comments, or approval. Track outcomes. Track results. Track mastery. Build measurable benchmarks for yourself, independent of external judgment. Results are permanent. Approval is fleeting. That is your rule. Consider the social media addict. Every day, they pose for approval. Every day, they measure their self-worth in reactions. Yet their internal strength never grows. One day, they post and receive little attention. They feel weak. Their confidence falters. Their action is dependent on strangers. Their growth halts. This is the silent cost of seeking validation. That is why action without approval is superior. That is why internal proof is required. You must understand that seeking validation creates a feedback loop of weakness. You act to please others. Others respond inconsistently. You adjust. You worry. You doubt. Your energy is drained. Your focus is compromised. Your discipline erodes. It is not about perfection. It is about control. Control over your mind. Control over your action. control over your confidence. Internal validation is the antidote. Internal validation is the system. Internal validation is the foundation. You have a choice. That is the key. Here is how you enforce internal validation. Rule 1. Your self-worth is determined by output, not applause. Measure competence by what you achieve, not by who notices. Rule 2. Every action performed for external approval is optional and should be replaced with deliberate, outcome-focused action. Rule 3. Your mind is your system. Feed it proof, not praise. Repetition, results, and discipline are your metrics. Whenever you feel the urge to ask, did they notice? Or will they approve? Redirect yourself immediately. Repeat, I do not need their permission. I do not need their approval. I act for results. Condition yourself to internal proof. Condition yourself to action independent of recognition. That is discipline. That is mastery. That is confidence. Consider this. Every time you seek validation, you transfer power. You give others control over your focus, your energy, and your belief. You invest your time in external judgment. You train your brain to depend on external signals. That is not competence. That is not confidence. That is not control. Reverse the process. Take action for yourself first. Measure outcomes. Build proof. Repeat daily. This is the system. This is the method. This is the practice. The next step is reflection. Begin a daily review. At the end of each day, ask yourself, did I act to impress or did I act to progress? Highlight every moment spent seeking approval. Analyze it. Correct it. Replace it. Each week, reduce the number of actions driven by validation. Each month, aim for none. You will notice your internal confidence grow. You will notice independence increase. You will notice discipline solidify. That is the silent power of rejecting validation. Repetition will reinforce the rule. You do not need their permission. You do not need their approval. You only need your action. You only need your measurement. You only need your results. Let this principle guide every decision. Let it structure your behavior. Let it form the foundation of unshakable self-belief. You have a choice. That is the key. This is not theory. This is practice. This is conditioning. Your mind will resist. Your impulses will seek praise. Your environment will encourage approval seeking. That is expected. That is normal. Discipline is required. Repeat the exercises. Audit. Implement the silent rule. Measure outcomes. Adjust. Repeat. Your internal system will grow stronger. Your confidence will grow silently. External applause is irrelevant. Internal proof is permanent. Now, prepare for the next lesson. You will examine how fear becomes a signal, not a stop sign. You will learn how internal validation allows you to confront fear with clarity. You will understand that when your energy is not spent on approval, it can be focused on results. You will understand that confidence requires both discipline and internal proof. The habit you build today of acting independently is the preparation for the next step. You have a choice. That is the key. Stop seeking. Start measuring. Stop seeking. Start measuring. Stop seeking. Start measuring. Chapter 3. Master your mind before you master anything. Confidence begins in the mind. Always. Before skill. Before habit. Before action. If your mind is chaotic, inconsistent, or undisciplined, nothing else will follow reliably. Results will be inconsistent. Habits will break. Performance will collapse under pressure. The foundation is mental control. Mind first. Everything else follows. Mind first. Everything else follows. Most people overlook this. They chase skills. They chase tools. They chase routines. They chase external proof. They neglect the internal process. They believe mastery is physical or technical. They are wrong. True mastery is mental first. Without mental discipline, skill cannot be sustained. Habits cannot be automated. Confidence cannot survive stress. You have a choice. That is the key. Consider athletes. Elite performers do not rely solely on physical practice. They visualize. They rehearse. They simulate success before touching the field. They imagine the movements. They imagine the outcomes. They mentally rehearse the challenges. This trains the neural pathways before physical execution. By the time action occurs, the mind has already anticipated success. Mind first, everything else follows. Mind first, everything else follows. You must apply this principle systematically. Control your thoughts. Control your focus. Control your interpretations. Discipline your mental environment. Guard your mind as you would guard a high-value asset. Every thought directed toward doubt or distraction is a withdrawal from your confidence account. Every thought focused on clarity, strategy, and purpose is a deposit. Your internal bank is built on disciplined attention. That is the system. That is the method. That is the rule. Here is a practical process to master your mind. Daily mental rehearsal. Each morning, spend 10 minutes visualizing the actions you will take and the results you will achieve. Imagine challenges clearly and rehearse your response. By training the mind before the body, you reduce uncertainty and increase competence. Mind first. Everything else follows. Thought audit. Record recurring mental patterns for 1 week. Identify thoughts that undermine confidence. Negative self-talk, comparison, doubt, and procrastination are signals of untrained attention. Replace them with proactive statements focused on discipline and action. Internal dialogue must become a tool, not a liability. Focus conditioning. Allocate uninterrupted blocks to complex tasks. Train your attention like a muscle. The ability to concentrate on one action until completion is a mental skill. Without it, habit formation and skill mastery fail. Mind first. Everything else follows. Mind first. Everything else follows. Mental mastery is reinforced through repetition. Each time you choose clarity over distraction, control over impulse, and reason over emotion, you strengthen the neural pathways that produce confidence. Each repetition is a proof point. Each proof point reinforces belief. Each reinforced belief drives action. Confidence is not accidental. Confidence is earned in the mind first. Action follows. Habits follow. Results follow. Let us translate this into a system of rules. Rule 1. Mental rehearsal precedes physical execution. Always simulate before acting. Visualize outcomes, obstacles, and responses. Train mentally first. Execute physically second. Rule 2. Thoughts are measurable. Track recurring doubts and distractions. Replace them deliberately. Internal dialogue shapes external performance. Mind first. Everything else follows. Rule 3. Focus is non-negotiable. Uninterrupted attention on critical tasks is mandatory. Distraction is a slow form of failure. Protect your mental bandwidth. Notice the simplicity and precision of this system. Discipline a mind. Train attention. Rehearse success. Measure results. Repeat. Confidence does not appear magically in the muscles or the habits. Confidence is an emergent property of controlled mental action. Mind first. Everything else follows. Mind first. Everything else follows. You will feel resistance. Your mind will wander. You will experience doubt. This is expected. It is normal. It is the test of discipline. Each time you redirect attention to preparation, rehearsal, and clarity, you reinforce the system. Each redirection strengthens confidence. Each repetition conditions the mind to anticipate mastery, not fear or failure. Mind first. Everything else follows. Mind first. Everything else follows. Consider this example in real-world terms. A basketball player shooting free throws. Without mental rehearsal, they rely on muscle memory alone. Anxiety disturbs execution. Misses compound. Confidence declines. With mental rehearsal, they visualize perfect shots. They anticipate the defense, the pressure, the arc of the ball. When a shot occurs, the mind has already rehearsed success. The body executes effortlessly. The principle is universal. Mind first. Everything else follows. Mind first. Everything else follows. The habit you build today will determine performance tomorrow. Mental discipline is the scaffolding for every other skill. Habits cannot sustain inconsistent thought. Skills cannot survive distracted attention. Results cannot emerge from chaotic preparation. Build your mental system first. Then layer habits. Then layer skills. Then layer results. This is the sequence. Mind first. Everything else follows. Mind first. Everything else follows. As a practical exercise, implement this now. Choose one daily action that is critical to your goal. Mentally rehearse it. Anticipate challenges. Execute. Review outcome. Repeat tomorrow. This reinforces the neural loop for confidence. It reinforces self-trust. It reinforces internal proof. Each day compounds the effect. Discipline becomes internalized. Results become inevitable. That is your system. That is your method. That is the foundation of mastery. Finally, understand this principle. You cannot outsource confidence. You cannot purchase it. You cannot borrow it. You must cultivate it internally. Mental mastery precedes every other form of mastery. Mind first. Everything else follows. Mind first. Everything else follows. It is not about tools, techniques, or external validation. It is about discipline, repetition, and internal proof. Prepare now for the next chapter. You will learn how small wins build big confidence. You will discover how consistent, minor victories compound silently into unshakable belief. The foundation of mental mastery is now set. The next step is actionable momentum. Mind first. Everything else follows. That is your system. That is your rule. You have a choice. That is the key. Stop assuming. Start controlling. Stop assuming. Start controlling. Stop assuming. Start controlling. Chapter 4. Small wins, big confidence. Confidence grows silently. It does not appear suddenly. It does not arrive with a grand gesture. It accumulates, gradually, predictably, through repeated, intentional action. Each small, deliberate step compounds into evidence. Evidence of capability. Evidence of self-trust. Evidence of belief. That is the principle. That is the system. You have a choice. That is the key. Most people wait for motivation. They wait for a breakthrough. They wait for the perfect moment. They wait for conditions to be ideal. They plan endlessly. They hope, and they stagnate. Confidence is not built in waiting. It is built in doing, not in large, dramatic steps, not in leaps, in small, consistent actions repeated daily. One small win today beats one huge plan tomorrow. One small win today beats one huge plan tomorrow. Consider practical examples. Daily journaling. One paragraph. One sentence. Reflection without distraction. Micro goals. Completing the smallest critical task first. One extra effort. A phone call, a push, an adjustment. Each action, though small, contributes to momentum. Each action reinforces internal proof. Each action conditions the mind to trust itself. This is how confidence compounds silently. Not by talking about it. Not by seeking validation. Not by performing. By doing. Small. Consistent. Intentional. You must understand the system. Break large tasks into micro steps. Execute them. Track completion. Measure progress. Not against anyone else. Not against an idealized image. Against the concrete evidence of action. Momentum grows. Doubt diminishes. Belief strengthens. Each day, each small win adds a brick to the foundation of unshakable self-confidence. That is the rule. That is the method. That is the practice. You have a choice. That is the key. Here is a structured process for building confidence through small wins. Identify minimum actions. For every goal, determine the smallest actionable step. It must be measurable. It must be repeatable. It must advance you toward the outcome. Do not overcomplicate. Small is sufficient. Consistency is essential. One small win today beats one huge plan tomorrow. Execute without delay. Take action immediately. Do not debate, justify, or plan endlessly. Execute. Track completion. Note progress. Each small victory compounds silently. Action precedes motivation. Results reinforce belief. Momentum is built, not wished for. Reflect and adjust. At the end of each day, review the wins achieved. Reinforce the behavior internally. Celebrate silently. Adjust tomorrow's actions to improve efficiency and impact. Use evidence, not opinion, as the measure. Repeat the cycle. Consider the athlete who adds one extra drill each day. One repetition beyond the required set. One push beyond the comfort zone. One extra run, not noticeable to others. Not done for recognition. Done for internal proof. Over time, skill grows. Confidence grows. Belief solidifies. This is the principle in action. Small, consistent steps build unstoppable results. Repetition enforces learning. Each small win reinforces the system. Each small win reinforces trust in your process. Each small win strengthens self-belief. Ignore size. Ignore applause. Focus only on execution. Focus only on consistency. Focus only on internal proof. That is the foundation. That is the architecture of real confidence. One small win today beats one huge plan tomorrow. One small win today beats one huge plan tomorrow. Now, let us formalize rules for daily application. Rule 1. Identify the smallest actionable step toward each goal. Execute it today. Do not defer. Do not overanalyze. Rule 2. Track every completed action. Evidence of doing is evidence of confidence. Momentum compounds through repetition. Rule 3. Internalize proof. Celebrate results privately. Do not seek recognition. Build trust in yourself first. That is permanent. This is not theory. This is practice. You will feel impatience. You will feel doubt. You will feel the urge to seek recognition or compare yourself to others. Ignore these impulses. Discipline yourself to action. Discipline yourself to repetition. Discipline yourself to internal proof. Each day compounds. Each small win reinforces confidence. Momentum grows silently. Belief solidifies. That is the system. That is the method. That is the foundation. You have a choice every day. You can chase grand gestures. You can wait for perfect conditions. Or you can execute small, measurable actions consistently. The latter builds competence. The latter builds proof. The latter builds internal confidence. One small win today beats one huge plan tomorrow. One small win today beats one huge plan tomorrow. This is your rule. Repeat it. Apply it. Live it. As a practical exercise, select one micro step today that aligns with your primary goal. Complete it. Track it. Reflect on it privately. Repeat tomorrow with one additional step. Compound the wins daily. Build internal proof. Build trust. Build momentum. That is your system. That is your discipline. That is your confidence. Prepare for the next chapter. You will examine fear as a signal, not a stop sign. You will learn how these small wins create resilience, allowing you to confront fear without hesitation. The foundation of momentum and internal proof established here will prepare you to act decisively when fear appears. You have a choice. That is the key. Chapter 6: Habits Forge the Unshakable Self. Confidence is not spontaneous. It does not arrive in bursts of motivation. It is not created by occasional breakthroughs or moments of inspiration. It is forged daily, by repetition, by consistency, by ritual. Discipline is built in the ordinary, not the extraordinary. Habits over motivation. Habits over motivation. Habits over motivation. You have a choice. That is the key. Most people misunderstand this. They wait for inspiration. They expect results from rare effort. They believe that extraordinary performance is required to feel confident. They are wrong. Confidence is the compound interest of repeated action. Daily rituals are deposits. Each habit reinforces proof. Each repetition builds momentum. Each repetition reinforces belief. That is the system. That is the rule. Consider practical examples. Morning routines executed without fail. Consistent exercise. Deliberate skill practice. Micro actions completed daily. Not occasionally. Not when convenient. Daily. These actions are not dramatic. They are not performed for applause. They are invisible. They are silent. Yet they produce results. Over time, these results accumulate. Confidence strengthens. Internal proof solidifies. Habits are the architecture of unshakable self-belief. You must understand the mechanics. Habits automate discipline. Motivation is inconsistent. It fluctuates. Habits continue regardless of feeling. Habits reduce decision fatigue. Habits remove reliance on willpower. Habits enforce action. Habits over motivation. Habits over motivation. Habits over motivation. That is the system. That is the rule. That is the method. You have a choice. That is the key. Here is a structured process to build confidence through habits. Identify keystone habits. Determine the small, repeatable actions that create the largest impact. Exercise, journaling, reading, skill practice. Each is a foundational habit. Build around them. Focus on consistency, not intensity. Habits compound silently. Create systems, not goals. Goals create pressure. Systems create consistency. Design daily routines that guarantee execution. Track completion. Measure outcomes. Do not rely on bursts of motivation. Systems enforce habits automatically. Habits over motivation. Habits over motivation. Anchor habits to triggers. Link each habit to a consistent cue. Morning wake-up, lunch break, bedtime. Environmental triggers reduce friction. They remove reliance on willpower. Execution becomes automatic. Internal proof compounds. Momentum grows. Consider an athlete practicing a skill. They do not wait to feel like training. They follow the schedule. They repeat the drills. Each repetition reinforces neural pathways. Each repetition strengthens belief. Each repetition proves competence silently. Confidence is built, not by excitement, not by motivation, by disciplined repetition. Habits over motivation. Habits over motivation. Reflection reinforces the system. Daily review of completed actions strengthens internal proof. Measure habits, not feelings. Track execution, not inspiration. Identify missed repetitions. Correct immediately. Adjust triggers. Reinforce consistency. The mind learns through repetition. The body learns through practice. Internal confidence grows through verified action. Habits are the bridge from action to belief. Here are additional rules to solidify habits for self-mastery. Rule 1. Execute keystone habits daily. Consistency is non-negotiable. Completion is the metric of proof. Rule 2. Remove reliance on motivation. Build systems that enforce repetition. Systems outperform desire. Rule 3. Track outcomes, not feelings. Reflection without measurement is wasted. Internal proof is built only from evidence. Expect resistance. You will feel fatigue. You will feel impatience. You will feel doubt. These are tests of discipline. Each repetition against resistance reinforces the habit loop. Each completed action reinforces self-belief. Each habitual success strengthens confidence. Momentum compounds silently. Habits over motivation. Habits over motivation. Habits over motivation. Now, implement a daily practice. Identify one keystone habit that directly supports your growth. Execute it without fail. Track it. Review it. Repeat tomorrow. Add a second habit after consistent mastery. Over weeks, your internal proof compounds. Discipline becomes automatic. Confidence becomes unshakable. Habits enforce belief. Momentum becomes irreversible. That is your system. That is your method. That is your foundation. Prepare for the next chapter. You will examine the mirror doesn't lie. Brutal self-reflection. You will learn how daily habits, when combined with honest self-assessment, produce clarity, accountability, and relentless improvement. The foundation of competence, internal proof, and silent momentum established here is the preparation. Habits are now your vehicle. Reflection will steer it. You have a choice. That is the key. Stop waiting. Start repeating. Stop waiting. Start repeating. Stop waiting. Start repeating. Chapter 7. The mirror doesn't lie. Brutal self-reflection. You cannot improve what you do not see. You cannot master what you do not measure. Confidence is built on proof, and proof requires honesty. Introspection is uncomfortable. It is precise. It is necessary. Every day, you must face your weaknesses. You must confront your errors. You must examine your intentions. The mirror does not lie. You have a choice. That is the key. Most people avoid reflection. They distract themselves. They justify mistakes. They blame circumstances. They rationalize failures. They skim the surface of reality. This is the path to stagnation. You cannot ignore the truth of your performance and expect growth. You cannot avoid the evidence of your habits and expect confidence. See it, accept it, improve it. See it, accept it, improve it. Repeat daily. That is the principle. That is the system. Consider real-world practice. At the end of each day, perform a self-audit. Review your actions. Review your intentions. Review your results. Where did you act with discipline? Where did you falter? Where did you seek approval? Where did you procrastinate? Record it. Reflect silently. Accept the data without judgment. Then, create one corrective action for tomorrow. See it. Accept it. Improve it. See it. Accept it. Improve it. Reflection is not theoretical. It is practical. It produces rules. It produces systems. It produces measurable improvement. Without reflection, habits become mechanical. Without reflection, actions lack precision. Without reflection, momentum stagnates. Discipline is ineffective without insight. The mind must know its strengths and weaknesses. Internal proof is meaningless without clarity. That is the rule. That is the method. You have a choice. That is the key. Here is a structured process for daily self-reflection. Record outcomes. At the end of each day, write down measurable results of your actions. Include successes and failures. Focus on evidence, not excuses. Evidence is proof. Proof builds confidence. Analyze behavior. Identify decisions driven by discipline versus decisions driven by distraction or desire for approval. Recognize errors without judgment. Accept them. Correct them. Each observation is a step toward mastery. See it. Accept it. Improve it. Plan corrective action. Determine one specific adjustment for tomorrow. Small, measurable, repeatable. Apply it consistently. Track it. Let daily corrections compound silently into competence. Repetition enforces learning. Improvement is inevitable. Consider an executive reviewing their day. Meetings, decisions, communications. Some went well. Some went poorly. Without reflection, habits repeat blindly. Weakness compounds. Performance plateaus. With reflection, each error becomes an opportunity. Each misstep produces a system adjustment. Internal proof grows. Confidence strengthens. Momentum builds. See it. Accept it. Improve it. See it. Accept it. Improve it. Repetition is the mechanism of mastery. Daily audits, honest assessment, and corrective action create a neural pathway of competence. Internal proof is reinforced by clarity. Mistakes are converted into rules. Weaknesses are converted into systems. Strength is no longer accidental. Confidence becomes measurable. That is the system. That is the discipline. That is the method. You have a choice. That is the key. Here are additional rules to enforce brutal self-reflection. Rule 1. Audit every day. No exceptions. Missing a reflection is missing a lesson. Discipline requires consistency. Rule 2. Focus on observable evidence. Ignore excuses. Ignore opinions. Measure performance objectively. Rule 3. Correct one error per day. Small improvements compound. Momentum builds silently. Confidence grows predictably. Expect discomfort. The process will expose flaws. You will notice gaps in habit, skill, and mindset. That is normal. That is necessary. That is growth. Avoiding the mirror is choosing stagnation. Facing the mirror is choosing mastery. Discipline compounds silently. Improvement compounds silently. Confidence compounds silently. See it. Accept it. Improve it. See it. Accept it. Improve it. Now, implement this exercise immediately. Tonight, review your day. Record actions, thoughts, and outcomes. Identify one area to correct. Apply the adjustment tomorrow. Repeat every day. Build a private record of internal proof. Track growth silently. Internalize confidence. Let repetition condition your mind. Let discipline reinforce belief. That is the system. That is the method. That is the foundation. Prepare for the next chapter. You will examine systems over goals, your invisible engine. You will learn how daily habits and reflection feed into structured systems that generate results automatically. The foundation of internal proof, disciplined action, and relentless improvement established here will become the engine of consistent achievement. You have a choice. That is the key. See it. Accept it. Improve it. See it. Accept it. Improve it. See it. Accept it. Improve it. Chapter 8. Systems over goals. Your invisible engine. Goals are fragile. They are conditional. They are external. They create pressure. They create expectation. They create anxiety. Systems, in contrast, are internal. They are repeatable. They are structural. They produce consistency. They produce momentum. They produce results silently. Systems make you unstoppable. Goals make you anxious. Systems make you unstoppable. Goals make you anxious. Systems make you unstoppable. You have a choice. That is the key. Most people chase goals. They set ambitious targets. They imagine outcomes. They plan deadlines. Then, when the goal feels distant or impossible, they falter. Motivation fluctuates. Discipline breaks. Anxiety rises. Confidence diminishes. This is predictable. Goals do not guarantee action. Goals do not enforce repetition. Goals do not produce internal proof. Systems do. Systems enforce action. Systems produce proof. Systems compound silently. That is the principle. Consider the writer who wants to publish a bestseller. The goal is intimidating. The outcome seems distant. Motivation fluctuates daily. Anxiety rises. Momentum collapses. Compare this to the writer who commits to a system. 500 words every day. Same result, but broken into repeatable steps. Each day, the system produces output. Each day, competence grows. Each day, proof builds silently. After months, the manuscript exists. The goal is irrelevant. The system delivered. Systems make you unstoppable. Goals make you anxious. Systems make you unstoppable. Goals make you anxious. Let us define the system for replacing goals with action-oriented structures. Identify keystone actions. Determine the smallest repeatable step that moves toward your desired outcome. It must be measurable. It must be repeatable. It must create momentum. Systems are composed of these keystone actions. Execute daily. Systems require consistency. Execute the keystone actions daily, regardless of motivation, energy, or circumstance. Results follow repetition, not bursts of effort. Momentum is built silently through routine, not intention. Systems make you unstoppable. Measure progress by output, not outcome. Systems are judged by execution, not distant results. Track completed actions. Track repetitions. Track process adherence. Success is the accumulation of disciplined steps. Goals are emotional markers. Systems are structural proof. Consider an entrepreneur launching a startup. The goal may be revenue of $1 million. That is distant. That is stressful. That is conditional. Instead, they build a system, acquire 1 customer per day, contact 5 prospects daily, improve product daily. The system enforces action. Daily progress compounds. Confidence grows. Proof accumulates. Results are inevitable. Systems make you unstoppable. Goals make you anxious. Systems make you unstoppable. Goals make you anxious. Repetition enforces learning. Each completed action reinforces the system. Each completed action reinforces internal proof. Each completed action compounds momentum. Systems do not rely on bursts of motivation. Systems do not require inspiration. Systems operate silently, consistently, and predictably. Discipline becomes automatic. Proof becomes measurable. Confidence becomes internalized. Systems make you unstoppable. Goals make you anxious. Systems make you unstoppable. Goals make you anxious. Here are rules to implement systems effectively. Rule 1. Break goals into daily actions. Each action must be measurable, repeatable, and simple. Complexity is the enemy of execution. Rule 2. Track execution, not outcome. Completion of the system produces results. Obsessing over results produces anxiety. Rule 3. Adjust the system, not the goal. Iterate processes based on feedback from execution. Systems compound silently. Momentum is built through structure. Expect resistance. Your mind will argue. You will feel impatience. You will feel doubt. You may believe motivation is required. That is false. Action produces proof. Repetition produces belief. Momentum compounds. Systems enforce discipline. Goals demand attention. Systems generate results. Systems make you unstoppable. Goals make you anxious. Systems make you unstoppable. Goals make you anxious. You have a choice. That is the key. Now, implement a daily system. Identify one keystone action that directly moves you toward your objective. Execute it consistently. Track it. Adjust it if necessary. Ignore distant outcomes. Focus only on execution. Internal proof will accumulate. Momentum will grow. Confidence will build silently. That is your system. That is your method. That is your invisible engine. Prepare for the next chapter. You will examine the power of consistent action. You will learn how systems, when executed daily without deviation, compound into unstoppable performance. The foundation of momentum, internal proof, and disciplined execution established here will be amplified through continuous action. You have a choice. That is the key. Systems make you unstoppable. Goals make you anxious. Systems make you unstoppable. Goals make you anxious. Systems make you unstoppable. Chapter 9. The Power of Consistent Action. Consistency is the engine of confidence. Momentum beats bursts of motivation every time. Talent is irrelevant without repetition. Skill is meaningless without execution. Results are earned daily, not occasionally, not when inspiration strikes. Daily action produces growth. Daily action produces proof. Daily action produces unshakable belief. Do it daily. Do it daily. Do it daily. You have a choice. That is the key. Most people act sporadically. They wait for motivation. They wait for energy. They wait for circumstances to align. They push hard one day and vanish the next. Their progress is uneven. Their confidence fluctuates. Their proof is inconsistent. Momentum collapses. They confuse activity with achievement. That is the mistake. Momentum beats bursts of motivation every time. Momentum beats bursts of motivation every time. Momentum beats bursts of motivation every time. Consider legends in business and sports. Michael Jordan did not succeed by playing one great game. He practiced daily. Serena Williams did not dominate with occasional effort. She trained daily. Elon Musk did not build companies by working when convenient. He acted daily. These people understood a simple truth: repetition compounds. Showing up consistently produces results. Daily action converts skill into mastery. Mastery converts into confidence. Momentum is built one day at a time. Do it daily. Do it daily. Do it daily. Let us define a system for consistent action. Establish daily minimums. Identify the smallest action that moves you forward. Commit to completing it every day. No exceptions. Momentum requires daily deposits. One consistent step outweighs sporadic leaps. Track execution. Measure completion, not outcomes. Completion builds proof. Proof builds confidence. Motivation is unreliable. Discipline is not. Daily repetition compounds silently. Do it daily. Do it daily. Do it daily. Build layered momentum. Once daily actions become routine, layer additional steps. Compound effect increases. Skills accelerate. Competence solidifies. Internal belief strengthens. Momentum is unstoppable when action is consistent. Consider an entrepreneur growing a business. Writing one sales email daily. Reaching one new prospect daily. Creating one small improvement daily. Individually, these actions are small. Collectively, over months, they generate revenue, market knowledge, and internal proof. Momentum compounds silently. Talent or inspiration is irrelevant. Only consistent execution matters. Do it daily. Do it daily. Do it daily. Consistency also trains resilience. Obstacles will appear. Discomfort will appear. Fear will appear. Motivation will fade. Those relying on inspiration fail. Those relying on repetition succeed. Daily action converts resistance into habit. Daily action reinforces proof. Daily action strengthens belief. Momentum cannot be stopped once internalized. Do it daily. Do it daily. Do it daily. Here are rules to enforce consistent action. Rule 1. Commit to one daily minimum. Execute without fail. Repetition is non-negotiable. Rule 2. Track completion, not outcome. Evidence builds belief. Momentum compounds silently. Rule 3. Layer additional actions gradually. Use daily momentum to accelerate growth. Avoid bursts of effort. Build sustained performance. Expect resistance. Expect boredom. Expect moments where effort feels pointless. This is normal. This is expected. These moments are the tests of discipline. Each day you show up, you reinforce your system. Each day you show up, you reinforce internal proof. Each day you show up, momentum compounds. Confidence grows silently. Skill grows silently. Results grow silently. That is the power of consistent action. Do it daily. Do it daily. Do it daily. Implement this now. Identify one critical action for tomorrow. Commit to completing it. Track it. Repeat the following day. Continue without exception. Build the habit of showing up. Let momentum accumulate. Let proof compound. Let confidence solidify. Daily action is non-negotiable. Daily action is unstoppable. Daily action builds the unshakable self. Do it daily. Do it daily. Do it daily. Prepare for the final chapter. You will learn the invisible thread, purpose that sustains all effort. You will see how disciplined action, systems, reflection, and habits connect to a central why that ensures internal proof never collapses. Momentum is now built. Confidence is now growing. Purpose will unify it. You have a choice. That is the key. Stop waiting. Start repeating. Stop waiting. Start repeating. Stop waiting. Start repeating. Chapter 10. Own your life or be owned. True confidence is freedom. Freedom to decide. Freedom to act. Freedom to control your choices, your time, and your mind. Anything less is surrender. Anything less is dependency. Anything less is being owned. You have a choice. Own it. Own it. Own it. Own it. Most people do not understand this. They blame circumstances. They blame others. They wait for permission. They wait for timing. They wait for conditions to be perfect. And in waiting, they are owned. Their time is consumed by others. Their energy is dictated by others. Their mind is compromised. Confidence is absent. You cannot wait. You cannot rely on others. You must take ownership. That is the principle. That is the rule. That is the system. Consider real-world examples. Entrepreneurs who refuse to be dictated by market opinions. Athletes who dictate their training and recovery. Leaders who control their schedules, decisions, and priorities. They act decisively. They stop waiting. They stop blaming. They execute. They build internal proof. Their freedom becomes their confidence. Internal control equals external results. Own it. Own it. Own it. You must internalize this principle as a system. Audit ownership. Identify areas where you're giving your power away. Your time, your energy, your decisions. Document them. Awareness is control. Without this step, you cannot reclaim what is yours. Implement daily ownership. Each day, select one action where you reclaim control. Make a decision independently. Execute without waiting for permission. Track the result. Momentum builds. Confidence compounds silently. Own it. Own it. Own it. Stop blaming. Every failure is an opportunity for internal proof, not external justification. Circumstances are data, not excuses. Results are your responsibility. Habits, reflection, systems, and consistent action are all tools you control. Master them. Do not wait. Own it. Own it. Own it. Consider the individual who constantly blames circumstances. Time is lost. Energy is drained. Potential decays. Compare this to the person who audits, adjusts, and acts daily. Decisions are intentional. Habits are aligned. Systems are executed. Internal proof accumulates. Confidence grows. Momentum is unstoppable. Control is internal. Freedom is built. Own it. Own it. Own it. Repetition reinforces ownership. Each day you choose responsibility over excuse, discipline over procrastination, action over hesitation. You internalize confidence. Each day builds proof. Each day compounds freedom. Momentum accumulates silently. Fear, doubt, and external pressure lose influence. You're no longer owned. You are in command. Own it. Own it. Own it. Here are rules to enforce ownership. Rule 1. Take responsibility for every outcome. Excuses are unacceptable. Control is non-negotiable. Rule 2. Execute daily actions with autonomy. Track proof internally. Let systems, habits, and consistent action reinforce control. Rule 3. Audit power leaks. Identify areas where you relinquish control. Reclaim them deliberately. Own your life or be owned. Prepare for action. Stop blaming circumstances. Stop waiting for permission. Stop hoping for perfect timing. Act. Decide. Execute. Build proof daily. Control your mind. Control your choices. Control your time. This is unshakable confidence. This is freedom. This is ownership. Own it. Own it. Own it. Now commit immediately. Identify one decision you have been deferring. Make it today. Execute fully. Track results. Repeat tomorrow with another deferred decision. Internal proof will compound. Momentum will grow. Your mind will gain trust in your own power. Your life will become your responsibility. Own it. Own it. Own it. If you have followed this audiobook, applied the principles, built habits, reflected honestly, executed systems, and acted consistently, then your confidence is now internally proofed, disciplined, and sustainable. The invisible thread, your purpose, your internal control, connects every action. You have learned to act deliberately, face fear, build momentum, and own your life. This is your final challenge. Stop blaming. Stop waiting. Start acting. Take control. Do not allow circumstance or opinion to dictate your life. You are capable. You are responsible. You are free. Own it. Own it. Own it. If you found value in this audiobook and want to continue building disciplined systems for self-mastery, internal proof, and unstoppable confidence, subscribe now and join the journey. Stay consistent. Stay disciplined. Own it. Own it. Own it.